Wasn't going to stream this early, I was going to wait another week or so and then do a longer stream, but I want to play it. Not because it's a good game, again. Just a bit of a chill stream this time. Just going to go back through the levels that I've already done and try and unlock everything. Skins... Were we going to stick with Neo Dante? Yeah, I like Neo Dante's the best. There we go. So we found one key last time and only got one door and half of the Lost Souls. So this time I'm going to try and get everything, because we now have every ability that we can have. Not every ability we can have, but every ability that will do something in the game. And we're going to skip the cutscenes because see how we do against these guys now. Although I have now just noticed that with the camera in the top right I can't see my spot. So let's have a quick see if we can change this. We have the four corners, so which is the least intrusive? Bottom right will stop me seeing if I have a level or anything. That's the least important because I can. It only matters when I'm in when I'm buying something, and it shows me when I'm buying something anyway. Well, not amazing, but it's fine.
This way.
Who said that?
Hey, Ken. Surrender, never surrender, never surrender, never surrender. Am I going to get copyrighted for that as well? I know they're a band that people like, and I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying... Skip that. I'm just saying they're not my cup of tea at all. Wait, I can now trivialise this. As if it weren't trivial to begin with, but you're right. Yeah, we'll watch the cutscenes then of those.
Ebony, Ivory, Mission Girls.
He looks so much better. Yeah, we can see it.
Target practice. Right on cue.
Should have slammed there. Whatever. Okay, I don't know where the things are. That's the other thing about this way of streaming. I don't know where all the collectibles actually are. So I need to actually find them in the process of this. But thankfully we now have things like this that we can do. And so you just get a free key. Seems to get a free key. So that was all we needed that for.
Where'd she go?
Now, just gotta have a look around, see. Obviously we went and got this earlier. Last time, that is. And nothing else that I missed, it seems. There used to be one there, but there isn't now. That's good that they get rid of them once I've got them already. So I don't get confused, because I easily get confused with this. Right, this is where it used to make me try to hit people up into the thing, right? Okay. Come on. Well, we've got a trophy, which is almost what we wanted. And a B. So, to have a quick look around, see what we can see in every direction. Apologies if I don't talk very much when I'm fighting. I kind of forget that the camera's there and I just focus on what I'm doing. So I know it's a bad habit. I'm going to try and cut it out. And you know, we're new to this. We're still all new to this. You're probably not new to watching streams, because... Oh, look at that, see? Hidden things we didn't see. Now I can get all of them. Now how am I... Okay. I see. There we go. See, we're getting them. We're doing well. We are collecting. We are collecting collectibles. How can I still not get up this? Okay. Now, I always think there is something around here, but there probably... Yes, there is, look. I can only get to it once I've got these. And I can get another lost soul. See, this is replayability. It's really not. It's just like the most trivially running back around to pick up things that offer no resistance, no challenge, no gameplay at all. But I like the game, so we're going to play it. I'm good enough for anything, so we'll keep going. Went back to our normal costume, and the audio has gone again. This game has issues. There should be one more lost soul that we haven't found. Finish on sensational. Not bad. Not good, because it's not hard, but not bad. I wonder if I can deflect this thing back at him.
Get down here and fight!
Nope. Nope, can't do that. That's an old games thing. Just checking it in here. There's no way it would be here, it's got to be inside, right?
Hey! Through here!
Yes, I got that cat. I've been here before. Can you not tell by my swanky ability to use all my demonic / angelic powers? So we'll just talk.
Get lost!
Stupid, no. I mean, it's fine as a gimmick, but it's okay. He's just so... because he's angry all the time, and because he's like rebellious teen, he sounds unhappy. He sounds like really miserable. Dante in the other games was also miserable, particularly in the anime. If you've ever seen the DmC anime, which is awful, it's just boring. Not a lot happens in it, and there's nothing to it at all. But Dante, the character in it, is portrayed quite well, because it's basically every scene, every episode's opening is the opening of every Devil May Cry, which is where he's just sat in his office, kind of not going as far as crying to himself, but may as well be, because he's got nothing going on. He's just bored, he's staring into space, there's nothing happening for him in his life. And then a call will come in, and someone tells him there's a job that needs doing, and he just like leaps up into the air, like flipping and dancing with guns and swords going off everywhere. Because that's what gives him, like, that's what's fun for him, right? It's styling on the enemies, it's hitting mad combos, killing demons, that's what he lives for. Dino never gets that. Yeah, I should explain that. But yeah, this Dante never... I'll explain it in a minute. This Dante never gets that. He always just looks kind of miserable in that he feels like he's... Well, it's not like he feels like it's not... It's like he's supposed to look cool and feel cool. When really what that tends to mean is not very happy with yourself in who you are. The other Dante is very clearly happy when he's doing the things he likes. This Dante has no happiness at all.
Yeah, whatever.
He's just angry when he's not happy, and when he is happy, he's just kind of cocky and trying to show off, which usually means unhappy. It's another thing I don't think there's much joy in the game as a result, because obviously you spend the entire game with this Dante. What he feels is what you feel, and if he's not happy, you're not happy. Which, in comparison to old Dante, who was kind of a crazy lunatic. But in a good way, because he's a crazy lunatic just living his life, just happy that he's crazy, happy in what's happening. And I don't know. I think it makes the game less enjoyable that your character doesn't seem to be enjoying it. It's one of the kind of complaints I had with Nero, when he's not the same, but he kind of has a similar thing where he's a rebellious teen rather than a cool uncle that Dante becomes. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Except you get your Devil Trigger later that gives you that ability and makes you look with the white hair, so... And in fact, after you finish the game, you get the full-on look, where he's always got white hair. So clearly, I mean, yeah, he changes a person, fine. But yeah, this Dino's never this Dino... Dino, I'll explain it because I keep saying it. Dino is the nickname that fans, if you don't know, of the old series game this one, because Dino is an acronym for Dante in name only, which is, that so looked like a place I could go. It so looked like a place I could go. I can even jump far enough to get, there you go. It stands for Dante in name only, which is basically what he is. I did get that one, didn't I? The other name that they came up with is Dante, which I also quite like. But Dino rolls off the tongue more easily, so I got to. Yeah, the opposite of the kind of miserable Dante.
Dante, wait.
And this kind of like cocky jock Dante is old Virgil,
It's working.
who
Fight him. It won't be easy.
is also happy in his own way. He's happy that he has a purpose. Even if that purpose isn't something particularly meaningful, either to him or to anyone else.
Attack its face!
Oh, you feel it now, don't ya?
I bet if I'd upgraded all the moves I used on him, I could have killed him again. What? I was clearly above it. Yeah, old Virgil, who is happy in that he has a purpose in life, even if that purpose isn't something that anybody else likes, or if it's not even something he wants, he just feels that he needs to have a reason that he's doing things. It's the whole motivation thing. Honestly, I have no idea if I dodged that last one. I don't think I did though. Damn it. I want to finish him with the Arbiter 3 hit at the end. That always gets you crazy style on this. I don't know why. Yeah, we'll skip that because we got everything. But Virgil, who's somber and he's dry and he's kind of quiet and secluded and in himself. But when Dante's messing around and jumping around all over the place and shouting crazy jokes out, Virgil joins in. He's happy to be a part of the situation. He likes that they're fighting. He likes that he's got a reason to fight. There's a particular one, I can't remember when he says it. I think it's one of the ones when Dante says something like, this party's just getting started, or this party's getting crazy. And later on points out that Virgil's, sorry I'm late, this party's really dull. And Virgil's response is something like, sorry, I couldn't prepare because I was too excited for the bear. It's like crazy, like Daniel Southwood did his voice. It's like really nasal but really like dry, sarcastic. I couldn't get ready for the bear, which is awesome. He's just a dick. He's a dickhead, but he's funny and he's enjoying. He's a happy person. He's a happy person to look at. He has a lot of trauma, and there's times when he's not. Obviously, they all go through hardship in the old story, but he has life to him. He brings life to the games that he's in. Neither this nor Dante nor Virgil do that. They're both kind of they're not sucking the life out of the game, because there's very honestly even without them, there's very little left in the game. But because the enemies, I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in terms of design wise, the enemies are kind of nothing to get excited about. They're all generic. The other characters are kind of dull. Mundus is just big corporate man. What's payoff? Not too much. Leaps that. And do more damage with the kick. You get enemy step. You know what? I'll just upgrade the standard Albert combo. We'll start upgrading our combos next. We've got all the moves more or less. Yeah, Mundus is just typical corporate man in a suit. What's it? I can't forget his name. The actor who plays him, but he just looks like every other corporate man. He looks like Kingpin from Daredevil Netflix series, which is fine. I mean, I wish he had more of a Kingpin style threat to him. Mundus it's just kind of like they beat you over the head with this guy's the most powerful, he's the threat, he's a danger, he's a monster, but you'd never really see much evidence of it until the very last scene, and even then it's not particularly convincing. Lilith is fine, but she's a very typical, like, latching onto a guy in power, desperate to be with him because he's powerful. And that's kind of all she's got going for her. Cat has a little bit more than them, but still not a lot. Just a helpless person who Virgil helped to lift up, just a Casca ripoff, a bad Casca ripoff. But who, without the actual combat ability or ability to decide her own outcome that Casca has. Because all the time, ultimately, she's completely dependent on Dante and Virgil for everything that they do. She can push them in and out of limbo, but that's it. So she's useful, yes. But she's not particularly engaging or interesting or even that relevant, because I mean it's one of those situations where they tend to do it with weapons, like they're doing it with Arbiter and Eric's and what have you here. They're things that exist purely to help you traverse an obstacle which in itself only exists to justify the thing that you need to traverse it. Like, Eric's has the punches, it's just a weaker... It has the same moveset as Arbiter. It doesn't have any other different abilities or anything. It just does the same moves Arbiter does. But all it does is you then create the glass walls that only Eric's can break. So then But you could have just avoided Eric's as a thing altogether by just make those glass walls the same as you'd hit them with Arbiter, and that will do it. Like, it's a problem solver that exists purely to solve the problem you created in order to justify that problem solver. And that is Kat's character in this, in a nutshell. She exists purely to solve problems that are only there to justify her being in the game. Because all you'd have to do is just make a slight tweak to the game so that Dante and Virgil can enter limbo of their own accord. And once you've done that, Kat's reason to exist is kind of moot, because then it's just Dante and Virgil just go into limbo and do the thing. Yeah, there's a lot of stages where it would be like, I need to get you out of limbo. Limbo, hurry, follow me, I'll try and get you out. But you could have just had those with the only way to get there is through limbo, like we actually had in the factory in the last stage. The whole thing of that was we have to be in limbo because you can't reach it from the river. Well, just use that excuse on every level. I don't see that Cat contributes anything or has anything particularly meaningful. And yet I know you can say that's kind of true of everything, because in every story you could just write it so that the thing the person's getting rid of doesn't exist in the first place. But I don't know, it doesn't seem to work that well with the Cat for me. But she... Even her whole story is that she just was obsessed with Virgil, and then at the end decided she preferred Dante. That's like the whole thing. That's like her whole thing in this game. Her whole contribution to the story is, I like Dante more than I liked Virgil before. Yeah, she's a bit of a sticking point at the end, but that's all she can. She's a thing that we trade Lilith for. But then we only needed to trade Lilith because she was there. Which meant we couldn't just kill Lilith, but then we do just kill Lilith.
Hell yeah!
So it makes no difference in the end. Oh look, I got Eric's. How handy. Now I can
Not so
defeat
tough
this
now.
Get some sugar stuff going. Yeah, so Dante and Virgil, I feel, was the... Obviously Devil May Cry 1, there isn't that much of a backstory in a lot of it. There's just who you are and what you're doing. It's the introduction to the series, it's not necessarily surprising. Devil May Cry 2, we're not going to talk about, but does introduce some interesting female characters. Devil May Cry 3. I mean, really, it mentions it in 3 and 5, and a little bit in 4, barely all in 4. The relationship between Dante and Virgil is the driving force of the entire series, the entire franchise. That they are the two unstoppable creatures in the entire world. The two that no one can ever beat, no matter how strong they get, until Nero. And that their differing views and different approaches to what's happening is what's driving both of their story, and they're also the only family that either of them have until Nero. So the kind of when their characters are really cool and fun and interesting, like they are in the original, that adds a huge amount to the game. Where in this one, that the lack of that relationship and that I guess what's the name? That underlying theme makes this one seem very bland by comparison. That was alright. I rescued it. I kind of messed it up initially, but I got away with it. Stupid kid version of the game.
Did I hear that
As
right?
well as Dante and Virgil and their relationship not being that prominent or interesting, because neither of the characters are prominent or interesting. Virgil kind of hovers at the back and doesn't do a lot, and then he threatens to become interesting near the end, but doesn't quite. But somehow manages to sidestep it. And Dante just never is particularly interesting. He's just angry teen. He's just bad Nero. Sorry to anyone who does like Nero or who likes or who doesn't like Nero, who thinks Dante has more in this than Nero, but he's not. He's just angry. He's just angry. He's just angry and cocky. Virgil is a bigger letdown though, because this Dante was at least deliberately to go in the opposite direction to how he was in the others, where he was big gay cowboy, and in this he's sort of the complete opposite. Virgil is the disappointing one, because even if you hate how Dante looks and acts in this one, you can at least see some kind of... You can see they captured some of the essence of Dante in it. Not the bits that mattered, the bits that make him entertaining, but the kind of that he's not some kind of like moral crusader trying to save the world, the way that this one seems to think he is, but that he does have a conscience. He does think at least a little bit about how what he's doing is affecting the people around him. And ultimately behaves like a hero would in the end. And Dante's, in the old ones, it's kind of, yeah, I'm doing this because I enjoy it, because it's the only thing that gives me any kind of meaning or purpose in my life. But at the end of the day, once I've had my fun, the world needs to be safe, and that's what matters. Right? He accepts that at the end, at some point. He actively causes a lot of people to die before he gets to that point. When he's cutting Saviour up with the Yamato in DmC 4, millions, well, not millions, but probably hundreds or thousands of people died. And he could have just stopped it, just by running over there and stopping it. So, but it's consistent. Like Dante's not some kind of hero figure, or at least modern hero who is like selfless and righteous, looking to protect the weak and the innocent. He's crazy, fun-loving, slightly depressed man who really just wants to feel like he's doing something, like he's achieving something, like he's... or to just not be unhappy, just to have a break, just to enjoy himself. And in the meantime, if he can save the world and help other people,
Out he come.
this one kind of has an element of that. amongst all the other characterization problems they had with him, that they did manage to keep.
Get over here.
But Virgil, the core aspect of his personality about the just wanting power, but why, obviously, he wants power is kind of the important part, is lost completely in this game. Virgil appears most of the time to just be a kind of prep school boy who's got a plan. He sees himself as a kind of as like an aristocratic type figure who is better than the people he's looking after, that those people need him to protect them, and that he's going to do it because that's his role in the world.
What now?
He doesn't seem to have to focus on the power that they all wanted. Obviously the underlying thing of their relationship in the original is which one was stronger. To the point where their very final scene in the end is them just fighting forever in hell. Just fighting each other, killing anything that comes at them, and then fighting again. Because that's all they do. Dante says it's the only memory he has of them since they were kids. It's testing themselves against the only thing that matters, which is their twin brother.
So what else have you got?
And both of them getting a kick out of it. And Virgil, particularly, of his obsession with being better than Dante, is what drives him. And then Dante fighting and enjoying himself in fighting is what drives him. So Virgil is a constant source of entertainment for Dante, if nothing else. But then ultimately Dante always realises at the end, yeah, it's fun, it's enjoyable, I like fighting Virgil, but the world needs to not be swallowed by demons or whatever, so we have to stop eventually. But Virgil never gets to that point. His obsession is, I'm going to be better than Dante, and Dante's the strongest of all, so I'm going to be the strongest thing ever, because that's how I prove myself, that's my reason for being. At some point along the way, he kind of lost track of why, and the whole Nello Angelo process is kind of him reflecting on that, I think. Oh, I thought that was a pit I would fall down into and then could run to the start, like in most action games. But no, it's just death for no reason.
They're here.
So,
They're here. They found us.
and obviously both of them are being obsessed with the whole Son of Sparta thing, because everybody is, because he was the biggest, proudest guy who ever lived. I'm doing that without even meaning to now. And then both of them proving themselves to be stronger than Sparta. Dante cares less than Virgil, but again, enjoys the process. Where did I... Yeah, I came from there, okay. And then and they're so childish about it, both of them. Like, we have the whole... give me the whatever it was with an amulet, I think they had in the original, in DmC 3. And he goes, you've got one already. And he goes, yeah, well, I want yours too. Like, it's the best line. It's the best line because it's exactly what Virgil's like. It's Virgil in a single sentence.
How did they find us?
But then in this constantly failing, this constantly being worse than Dante, Virgil kind of also outgrows Dante in a lot of ways by being forced to. He becomes more of a kind of a serious person. He takes himself and his powers and his role in the world more seriously than Dante, who doesn't take it seriously at all, but still enjoys himself. And in the end, he becomes completely obsessed with power for its own sake. He kind of never quite loses sight of trying to just outdo Dante, but he kind of becomes more than that. And he tries to achieve other things with that power other than just, I gotta find and kill and beat Dante. This Virgil is not in any way focused on power throughout almost any of the game. He sees himself as the saviour. He starts at that kind of grudging acceptance that Dante finishes every game with yeah, it was fun, it was exciting, I had my woohoo's and my pizza, but now the world's about to die and I need to save it. Virgil starts this game at, the world's going to die and I need to save them, and never moves from there. Would have got that perfect if that had more back left on it. He starts at this really serious, kind of joyless character of, I need to save the world, I'm going to save the world, that's my purpose in the world. Which again is understandable given who he is. There's nothing that they have the prophecy that they mention of common knowledge that the Nephilim are the only one who can slay the Demon King. And so having been born as a Nephilim, it kind of makes sense that Virgil would make the leap to, therefore it's my responsibility and my destiny to defeat the Demon King. But still, it seems odd that he never seems to harbour any personal ambition when he is based on a character who has nothing but personal ambition. I'm excluding the end scene, obviously, where he reveals that yes, I intended to rule the whole world all the time, blah blah blah. But that's kind of the point. I'll get to the point when we get there. Obviously, that sentence was amazing. I'll get to the point when we get there, but yeah, but the game shits itself in the last like 2 scenes.
Get away from me!
And Virgil kind of reveals what it would have probably been better if he had been all along. If he'd always been like, if they'd started with, I'm gonna overthrow Mundus and take his place as the king in the world, because Mundus is cruel and horrible and everything, and I'll be better than him because I can save the world as their new leader. And then Dante would have gone, I don't really care about that, and they built up kind of that kind of duality, with Dante obviously here representing rebelliousness and sticking it to the man type attitude, versus Virgil's law and order under a righteous king is the only like hope anyone has type thing. And that kind of opposites would have been more interesting. But even then, it's the personal battle that underlies their ideological difference, even in the old game, not being present here. Just it ruins so much of both of their characters. There's also the side to it that they do mention all along that they were rivals, but not really, because Dante was just better. We saw in all the cutscenes and stuff, stylish victory. Yeah, the next rank. That shouldn't be too long. That was easy as hell. So, that's by far the easiest challenge in the entire game. This party's just getting crazy. Was that the line? Wasn't it just this party's getting crazy? I don't know. But yeah, they build up all the time the rivalry between Dante and Virgil as Dante being the stronger and being the favourite and being better in every way than Virgil. And then the end is, and now I'm going to take Kingdom even if it's from you, and then Dante just beats him. And even in the fight, it's one-sided. Which, if I remember right anyway, I think when we get there, we'll see it. But there doesn't seem to be any kind of sibling relationship, any recognisable sibling relationship between the two of them. Especially since they don't look alike, they don't act alike. Neither of them seems to take any kind of interest in the fact that they're brothers, as opposed to just both Nephilim, which is the main focus. Like, we are the Nephilim, we are the ones that would fit in. Like, they could be completely unrelated, never met before in their life, and the entire game would still make perfect sense. In fact, it would make more sense, because they wouldn't have had established right from the beginning that Dante had always been better than Virgil. So no, I think if you're going to compare this game to the old games, it's unfair to compare the combat, because, you know, the level of experience and within the teams that made it is ridiculous by there's no comparison to be made between Capcom's finest and a well-respected, good team who have done action games, but not even one character action game worthy of the name ever. It's not fair to compare them. In terms of character, story, aesthetic, themes, tone, you can compare them, because you can compare anything for them, because all writers can be compared equally on that front. And this game is that's where this game doesn't get a free pass. But for me, that's what makes this game so much worse than all the others, because it lags behind in those. I stand by the way, what I said about these guys. I said they weren't fodder before, and then I changed my mind. I stand by it, they are fodder. They don't even fight, there's no point in them even being here. And as an action game, I mean, it's not bad. I'm not sure I'd call it character action in the truest sense, because for reasons that you can understand, it resembles Heavenly Sword a lot more than it resembles DmC 4 in terms of the combat. Even though it's the same moves a lot of the time from DmC 4, the way the enemies attack you, the enemies behave when they're not attacking you, the amount of damage that you do, the amount of damage that you take, the level of kind of memory required for each fight, in terms of knowing the enemy attack patterns and reacting to them and timing your attacks perfectly to block them. Like there, you've seen that enemy's entire move list right now. Oh look, did it again. How interesting. Oh, now I beat them. That was that fight. These guys, usually one of them attacks you at a time. If that. Most of it's just me doing this. Pick an enemy who looks like he's not doing much. And then just grapple to them or stinger to them and just hit them until they die. Which is normal. That's God of War thing. It's walk toward enemy, hit attack button until enemy dies, walk toward next enemy. I think to be character action you need combos, you need I don't know if difficulty is the right word. Because if you play any of the other Devil May Cries on human or even the next one up, whatever that is, that Devil Hunter, the next one, I think. Then it's not difficult. You will get through most of the game very rarely dying, and you'll get most enemies, and you'll probably get a decent combo if you halfway know what you. See, even there, Dante is on the top doing jump attacks and then picking Virgil up when he's down. That was their relationship from the beginning. How intimidating is Virgil? What? I mean, maybe that's why they kind of shied away from Dante and Virgil showing this kind of relationship. But no, it would have made more sense if Virgil was constantly saying, "This time I'm going to beat you. Now I'm going to be better than you, Dante." And Dante going, "Yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it." Type shit. Because then when Virgil turns on you right at the end, it makes because he always wanted to be better than me. He was always going to try and outdo me as soon as he got a chance. As soon as he got a reason. As soon as he got a motivation. He was always going to betray you. But he doesn't. In this one, it's always just... He wanted to save the world. He believed the only way to save the world was by replacing Mundus, presumably. And that then would risk it all in a fight with somebody who he knows is better than him and will beat him. That's a... Well, I think they did that the first time as well. Fuck me. Let's get right to the side. Yeah. And it's the gang waiting for me. What was I saying? Yeah, the combat is a more action game than it is character action. But it's fine in its own way. On the higher difficulties, it is more... Obviously, I'm only playing on the equivalent of medium.
You're my brother.
So it's not going to be that much difficult. This is the only scene when they even really acknowledge
I've been looking for you for a long time now.
any kind of brotherly relationship.
My mother gave these to us.
And this is it. Like, imagine they're not brothers. Imagine they're just two Nephilim. How is this scene different?
Father, Sparta, banished forever. A fate worse than death, they say. He's never coming back.
That's an awful, awful, awful scene that should not have been in the game and would have been so much more meaningful had it just not been.
I know more.
If it was just a fate worse than death and then no explanation, that's fine.
Above all,
That's fine.
I know who's
Because we know the
responsible
stuff.
for
We
this.
know what fate worse than death means. It means tormented. He's just chained up and they're slightly tighter in some kind of weird demon sex dungeon. And it does kind of ham home the point that they're brothers who are all about, but never make any attempt to rescue their father, who they know is still trapped. I know I'm bringing up the same points again and again, but because they keep bringing them up. Again, I'm going through the mission again. They're not bringing it up again, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. How much is the 5k? That's too much for me. It's just 3 lost souls. We're looking, 2 lost souls we're looking for here. But no, Virgil could have been very, very different. Dante could have been... Dante, I feel they were... At least from what we've heard from the developers and media outlets at the time, that they were kind of backed into a corner on Dante. That they were told in no uncertain terms by Capcom that he had to be more or less like this. And apparently Itsuno, Hideaki Itsuno, father of Devil May Cry, really does like this game, unironically. And it's easy to believe because a lot of the things from this game are actually carried into 5. Okay, so Trillion Stabs can knock them out of there as well. Noted. Savage. Oh yeah. Your prop shredder on YouTube. Suggestion. Every time. Actually, I like the announcer. I like that it's stupid.
Come on.
Down to the gateway's open. Come on. I'm coming. God. When did I get... Oh yeah, I got hit by the enemy. Obviously. What else would hit me?
Dante, over here.
But Virgil they had no excuse with, and the relationship between Dante and Virgil they had no excuse with. It was a fairly simple thing that you had to do to get these characters right, and you fucked up. You don't get a pass on that. Even as much as I like this game, that is a big, huge, glaring omission. The other big omission being and I'm still not going to give you a pass on, is the relationship with your parents.
Can you get across?
I'll have to find another way.
Even in the last... I literally don't have to find another way if I don't want to. But since we need these, I'm going to find another way, guys. Yeah, the relationship with their parents, it's only expanded on the relationship with their mother in the DLC to this, Virgil's Downfall, where Virgil kind of explained a little bit with his mother that she always seemed to prefer Dante, at least in his eyes, and that she believed she loved him equally, obviously, as you would. Really thought Prop Shredder would get a triple S there, I think. Yeah, she, but that kind of little relationship with her and Virgil is all you ever get in terms of her relationship with either of them. And we get nothing at all on Sparta other than he's the one that carried them away when the demons found them. And it feels like it should have been a bigger thing, that in the originals, obviously they never really got much of a childhood. They got, it's the same story, they all lived together in a big mansion. One day the demons found them, killed their parents, and then ultimately they got away, but Virgil believed he's the one that was left behind. The aspect is gone completely.
Another blue
It's
rose.
just you always liked Dante better, and never. Why did you like Dante better? Or what did I do to make you like Dante better? How do I get up there then? I mean, I imagine I need a keeler to throw the things at it. But I don't actually know how, once I've got a keeler, how do I get to it? Yeah, there's no kind of relationship with their father or their mother. In this, when they did have a childhood, that should have come up, other than she liked you better because you were blah blah blah. So apparently I can stand here, which is how I get to that. And we have one, in fact we have both of the things we needed, right? So I think now I can just go on, right? Is that how you get the timings on these kind of missions? You just skip all the bullshit it made you do before? That will make sense, but it would be a little bit disappointing if it's the case. That you're actually rewarded for skipping gameplay. As if that was what you were supposed to do. Of course, why would you try to fight enemies? It's a Devil May Cry game. It is. I got a double S. Bet if I'd done that fighting better, I could have got triple S. No, because I have to fight the enemies to get style points. So I suppose it balances a little bit. Either way. Yeah, there's no relationship at all between Dante, Virgil, and their father. Next to nothing between their mother. Literally nothing in the base game. And even the only explanation for Dante's losing his memory is he got meningitis. And then gains his memory back in the first few missions, and then everything that he remembered doesn't seem to matter at all. Like I said, they refer to each other as brother occasionally, but that's as close as they get to a relationship. And it's not very close. Even when they're given perfect opportunities to discuss things that you'd think they'd want to talk about, they don't. For example, what happens after we kill them? So there's sorry, every time. It's gonna have to be every time.
And rip you apart.
Sure you are, Dante. You tell that nasty camera what you're gonna do. Where do I go? I got this way, right? Well, now in most of these missions, the only things I need them for are getting through doors that have Eric's fists. So virtually everything else I get access. Got that one last time. Good. Anything in that direction I should be aware of? Doesn't look like it. Shame, that looks like a really good place to put one, but doesn't matter.
Snake Eye.
I feel personally insulted by that. So edgy. No. Haha, got them this time. Last time didn't let me have those. The city itself is good.
Someone doesn't want me here.
The city itself is trying to stop
That's exactly
you.
what I thought, Cat.
Great.
Virgil sent me the camera locations for this area.
With your weird little squirrel face. With your face like a squirrel that's been ejaculating furiously into a cup. Oh look, the original. How do I get through there then? It's a shame about Eric's as well, because I really don't like it. It's because its moveset is just arbiters, but worse. I wish it had a proper Devil May Cry 5, you might even say, style, like kung fu martial art style with it. Where in DmC 5 you could switch between the fists and the boots as a single weapon. In, is it Cerberus? No, it's not Cerberus, it's something. I can't remember which one it is, what demon it is, but you get the gloves and the kind of greaves, and you switch between the super fast punches that charge up and the slower but acrobatic kicks that do more damage. And you can switch between them on the fly as well as between the weapons. It seemed, I wish there'd been something. It doesn't even have to be that intricate or that in depth. It just has to be something that isn't the exact same moves that I've already got, but with a different thing. And the other good thing I think they should maybe have made more with is that with these on the triggers, you can switch literally this fast between attacks. So the weapon switching, I know a lot of people, when they get properly good at the other Devil May Cry's, can switch between weapons really fluidly and really quickly to go for very specific combos. I've never been that good at them. And I find it more fun to just have my weapons equipped, fight with one until I've reached what I feel is a comfortable stopping point, and then switch to the next one and fight with that one for a while. Or if I feel like because you can go through all those games getting S ranks on every fight using only one weapon. You don't actually, the same as like you could just pick Swordmaster and Rebellion in 3, 4 or 5, and you can max your style out in every fight if you do it right. The weapon switching just makes it easier, so I kind of use one weapon for a little while, hit a couple of enemies, a couple of combos, and then I switch to the next one. In this one you can very easily switch weapons mid-combo, and so I think there should have been a lot more and a lot more intricate combos built around it. Something like Rebellion, that, 2 of them, 2 more of these, then finish on a Rebellion up in the air, whatever. And there would have been hundreds of different moves and different combos.
This isn't good.
But as it is this kind of, each one has 2 ground combos.
Get out of here.
You can do the first 2 hits followed by the 3rd hit on a different weapon, and that's as much as the weapon switching in combos actually makes a difference. Other than that, it's do a combo with one and then start another combo with the next. That's kind of disappointing to me because, like I said, it's so easy to switch weapons in this game that if I have the option to do more combos than I have, it would be possible and accessible for people who are not particularly good at the game, the way that I am not. And when you switch them like that, it looks pretty good and it's easy and it's intuitive. So it's not as if they completely missed it out. It is obviously an intentional part of the game that you do as you play it, to switch between weapons mid-combo and mid-attack, even. But, like all the other, it's kind of, a lot of aspects of this game, it's kind of half-assed. It's meant to look like something cool rather than actually be something cool. I think the best description I've heard of it was in a playthrough of this game by a set of YouTubers I like, called, at the time they were the Super Best Friends, where this game is cool to people who don't play video games. Because if you're only looking at how flashy and exciting and kind of complicated the attacks look, to an outside eye, it looks as good as the original Devil May Cry, if not better. But if you play video games a lot, and you can see what kind of inputs are being done and which ones are clearly player driven and which ones are just cinematic, it's really not that impressive. Okay, this one's a little bit more difficult, guys. Keep him in the corner, so the other enemies cannot be on screen. Hit him while he can't hit me back and no other enemies can be on screen. Pull him towards me, finish him. Get away from him. Trick dodge. Stun lock him with attacks he cannot get out of. That's how you beat enemies without dying. Was alright though, I enjoyed that one. $11 out of 21. The thing about keeping the enemies so the other enemies aren't on screen, by the way, I mentioned it last time I played this. The way the AI works for a lot of the for the enemies in this game is that if you can't see them, they don't exist. The purpose, of course, being to make sure that you don't get overrun by enemies attacking you from all sides and are unable to combo anything.
For the time being.
But it does mean that, like there, if you need to not get hit, just face a wall so that nothing can see you. eventually one of them is forced to just run and stand in front of you so that his AI can do something. But it does mean that when you have to do that, it's a really helpful trick to know. A lot of games do it, but it's fine. I don't like it. I'd much prefer audio cues to tell me when to dodge, and just, if I'm finding it hard to combo whilst having to dodge attacks, then do it better. I don't care about that last one particularly. Anything else in here? No. What else have I got left to find? Nothing. I've got everything in the game. Awesome. Kill Dante. Got that one. Style does decrease.
And we're good to go.
Slowly, but it does decrease. I really like this outfit though. It kind of looks like Archer from Stay Night, from the right angle. One of the coolest characters in anything. So, no downside to that. I think we've gotten out of it. You know, I think that's why I like this character design, because it looks like Stay Night's Archer.
Great.
By the way, I don't know what I exactly get for doing all the getting all the collectibles and all the missions. I doubt much. Always go back to trusty stick.
Cat, you there? harder they fall.
That one very poorly. One thing I will say for the Fist is they are slightly faster than Eric's. Eric's is slightly faster than Arbiter.
I am running.
Pretty certain it does less damage though. Also these set piece things, for all they're not that dramatic or difficult the first time, they are so much worse the second time. And every time after that. It's just nothing, there's just no gameplay. And I preferred some more of that as well, about the terrorist starting, the other stuff he did before the game starts. He mentions before that he's killed demons before, that he's been sucked into limbo on other occasions, and he knew the way to get out was kill everything that came after him and then it would stop. I wish we got a little bit of history on who. Didn't I unlock that? Don't like that. You know, we'll just bigger charge up's fine. 5k, yeah. Cool. Okay, this one I've got a little bit more to do. I have a key to find, a door to find, and several of the heads, whatever they're called. Virility. There wouldn't be one here because I can't move properly. I also kind of wish there were.
This way, I think.
You said you'd been here before.
Yes, but it
There
was
were
during
more,
an out-of-body experience years ago.
Real-world sections in which you
Flying
had
around in spirit
to do
form.
combat.
Yeah, in Limbo. Virgil says it could be an effective
Because
intelligence
presumably
weapon.
they can do that stuff out of
Do
Limbo
that.
as well.
So,
Right.
how did you do it before?
It was triggered by extreme psychosomatic trauma. The nightmares.
What
I
are
know
they?
the enemies wouldn't be
Nightmares.
much of a challenge, being
It's
humans and whatever, but I feel like having huge sections fighting like helicopters and tanks and shit would have been funny. Or you can reflect the tanks, like turret shot back at itself by using the whatever it's called, spinny prop shredder. Yeah, that whole section's for nothing, eh? No, it can't be. There must be a reason that they put this area in the game. He's just walking around here. Is it just to show off the factory? Because we don't even see half of this if you go the proper way. Yeah, I guess it's just for nothing. Eh? Oh, it's hot in here. We're in the middle of a heat wave in the UK, for those who don't know. It's
Once you're in
really
Limbo, all
uncomfortable
you have
in
to
here.
do is retrace your steps back to the mixing room.
Should be easy enough.
Maybe, but the demons may sense you once you're in Limbo, so stay alert.
And once I've reached the mixing room,
You'll be able to descend deep down into the factory.
and kill me a succubus.
Okay, it's here.
So this is all she does. She's the gateway. She's the start level button. That's what Kat's role is in this game. Good thing she's not a prostitute with guns like in the old games. Also heard that some of the people who made this game described the plot as Shakespearean, but I don't know if that's true. I'm choosing to believe that it is not. So many ways I can go. Yeah, they seem to just add a bunch of different pathways to the same places for no obvious reason. I feel like this was one of the ones. I feel like I found a thing going this way that I couldn't then access.
What took you so long?
That I clicked for. C. Is this the way forward? I genuinely don't know. I don't remember going this way last time. But wait, yes I did, because there's the end thing. So the alternative was for me to come here. What is the point of all this path? It's non-linear, but it is linear because it's just pick left path or right path, and both are just a path with nothing on them. Or am I missing something really obvious? I don't know. I'm just going to move on. If I miss everything, I miss everything. Stupidity, yeah, that's what I'm worried about. That time I didn't mess it up because I knew it was coming.
Hey, could you point me to the mixing room?
Not all that flipping in. Couldn't see an awful lot in that last bit. The Pathos are really annoying. Like, they're an awful, awful, awful enemy. All they do is just fly around and annoy you in bits that should otherwise be fun. Well, there's one I missed last time. I mean, admittedly, the big dumb babies aren't particularly fun to fight anyway. But they're even worse with the Bathos popping around. I found this last time, didn't I? Yes, because there was a key here. That's right. So, let's keep going. I don't remember where to look, that's the problem. I have all the abilities, but I don't know what I'm looking for in order to use them. Oh, I got to 5,000 yet? Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to hit this statue into the air, don't I? Thank you. You knew exactly what I wanted, as always. See, I can go up there, and I think there's a thing. That I got it last time, yeah. Did I do it? I think I did it. Well, let's assume I've done it and keep on going. They're stupid as well. I don't know the point of them. I remember in the original version, as I said last time, you had to smash it really hard. You had to be able to, like, you had to destroy your thumb in order to get away from them. And they weren't worth it. And half the time they still hit you even if you did get it near perfect. This is the room I was remembering. But now there's not even a challenge or a difficulty or a fear factor to them. See, what is this enemy? Why is this here? Oh, I need to got that from a different angle. But that's definitely a hidden place, right? Great. Another amazing thing about Nier, we played it a little bit on stream. We had level design. Nier Automata obviously has a mixture of 2D and 3D, particularly platforming. In the sense, but it's 2D and 3D platforming where most of the platforming is 2D and most of the combat is 3D. That's a really good system. Where you get the point where you're running around, particularly in the fairground. I'm thinking, how do I get? I have to go across one of those. Which means I need to get up to that one, which means I need to be up to there. Do I have to come from right the way at the end of the level? Is there anything I can reach or do from here? Yes, there is. I can do this. That felt unintended, but we'll go with it. Yeah, there's, particularly in the fairground, there's a point in Nier Automata where you just run around, see all the robots doing their thing, their robot thing, and then you have to climb over a Ferris wheel, not a Ferris wheel, one of them kind of like spaceship things that go round and round. At which point, obviously, you would have to jump onto a lot of very small obstacles, which would be very annoying in 3D when your jumping isn't 100% precise. Which it virtually is in Nier Automata, but even so, it would have been really annoying. So it switches to 2D, in which you only have to do the vertical part of the jump. What happened to being hit stunned by your own sight suit? Guess that doesn't apply with angel weapons because they have no hit stun at all. Right. Yeah, and it makes, and then all you have to do is the run and the jump, and you get it one axis. Get right, and you're done. It makes that section a hell of a lot more fun. For precisely that reason, that you don't have to worry about flying off the edge or trying to perfectly place yourself in 3D whilst controlling the camera, which is never helpful in those sections. And you can just do it. Okay, that one I would need a Keeler for, I think. That's how I was supposed to get here. Are you sure, Jane? You sure that was the easiest way for me to get there? So it was unintentional, the way I did it the first time. Right. No, that one I definitely need a Keeler for. So I guess I'll have to come back anyway. I've gotten away with most of them, to be fair. I should have kept going and got a Keeler before I did this. I'm wondering how much further to go because there's no point. I'll do this. I'll clear this room out and then I'll just quit. That's the other thing, you can just stick with pretty much just one weapon for large periods of this game if you want to. Sensational. Fuck you, Dante. Shit. I did it anyway. Fine. I thought dodging meant I would do it too slowly and not be able to hit them, but I still just could. Oh, that's right, there was a room not far from here where I just had to... where there's just a key that I didn't have, which I do now. So I'll go get that room. I remember now. Die. I'm gonna say that would have been more threatening had an enemy appeared, but then it did. Still not massively threatening though, as we have covered quite precisely, I think. Not sure concisely means what I think it means. That's how you intended to do them, I'm pretty sure now. There was one there. Other than that, that was just the corridor you came down. This one's a dead end. So then
Where the hell is that mixing room?
This way. It's what happens when you don't have sprint. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's true. There are some little timing elements like that if you get them right work better for you. That if you mess up, as in do a move that isn't optimal to what you're doing. Like when I tried to hit him with, what do you think about, trillion stabs. I couldn't because his shield was up. I didn't think his shield would be up, which is why I did it. But then afterwards he knocks you back and does a counter. If you dodge at that moment, you get behind him and you get a little bonus for it. So there are little things like timing that dodge. Kill all enemies with times limit. Enemies only take damage within the active zones. Oh, well, isn't this fun, huh? Is there another left as well? There is. Okay. Okay, this one's kind of challenging just because I can't actually see where all the enemies are all the time. I'm actually deciding just to take damage rather than run out of the zone. Yep, take the damage. And hit. Take the damage. Sting it. There we go. Fine. Because I get my health back at the end, it doesn't matter if I get hurt. I've got enough health that I can just take half them hits rather than lose position. Got a long health bar now. So that one was worth it because I actually got a health out of it. Now I'll need to get 4 of them. Which means this is less efficient use of my time. And again, moves that knock enemies away from you are kind of annoying. You have to have them, sometimes they're useful. And hey, look at that, I can get a health upgrade again. Kicker, leaf, worthless. I look through these every time, hoping to see something that I actually want. Never will, don't think. Do I not get double up every time? I'm getting it now. No, I'm not. I'm taking it out, and I'm getting feed, because I'll do more damage when it's fully charged. Health cross. 7.5k I need for the next one.
Aha!
Said I was going to stop after that room way back, didn't I? Question now. If I were to stop now, would I lose any progress made in terms of getting health from them? I don't think I would.
fat asses wants to be Limbo's biggest loser. You've been eliminated.
Pretty simple.
Congratulations. You win.
They're so simple, even when there's two of them. Because of the not moving when they're not on screen. All you have to do is keep your back to them and they die. Yeah.
I'm miming.
80s throwbacks doing some interpretive dance at me. Telling me to lock the door when I go to bed.
Dante, you okay?
Very good.
I'm not doing the big fat joke. I'm just not. Okay. Clearly I missed some. I don't know where they are. But look at that, I have yet another move to get my double up. Alright. We're going back from secret ingredient because we've done that. Now where are we? We're on to Devil Inside. I think we're going to change the skins up. And we're going to go for a little bit of classic Dante for a while. I've played none of the game in the actual costume that you're supposed to play this game. Literally none, I think. Little things like that do exist as well, like parrying attacks back at each other or punching a flying enemy into the air are cool, but there's not enough of them. And they're not cool enough to be worth it.
And imprisoned here for how long?
Hundreds of years.
Let's listen to the important cutscene, shall we?
Back of my hand.
Whoa! You nuts?
I forget. You and I see things differently.
Seeing things differently.
I actually like stupid cosplay Dante more than the real Dante.
You only see evil.
I don't know if I like it more than Neo Dante. Neo Dante looks actually really good.
It's all a matter of perspective.
The whole game is designed, well, original Devil May Cry is very anime. I don't think there's anyone who will dispute that in a lot of ways.
As I said, I see things.
They're both just anime boys in their design.
I have something to
Is
show.
there anything behind me? There does not appear to be. That's disappointing. Yeah, they're both just anime boys. In this one, they try to make them look more real and feel more like grungy and familiar to an American audience. As you is again fair enough, I suppose. But you can't deny they look better as anime boy. They just do. An awful lot of characters do. In my opinion, almost every character looks better as anime boy / girl. Not everybody, that's exaggerating a little bit, but only a little bit. Not as much as you'd hope. I really like anime style. I think there's a reason why it's been adopted so much, and that it's not just people like Japanese thing. I think it does look very good. It is very well suited to action scenes and drama in combat. The big coats and things flying around, the hair flopping around, everything looks so over the top.
Nephilim, like you.
It's a nice style to go for anime.
I didn't know
It's also kind of broad. Like anime, you associate being just Dragon Ball, basically. Well, most people when they think anime, they think Dragon Ball.
And slain.
They think Dragon Ball, or they think
They
Toloburu.
wielded the power of both angels and demons.
The
But unlike them,
or High School DxD.
cross worlds.
There's a lot to anime. There's a lot of different styles within it. There's a lot of different
like me.
writing styles and animation styles.
They
they held great potential.
Devil May Cry is a kind of
At a waste.
realistic
You want to reach your full
anime
potential?
look.
Perhaps
That they're like realistic people, but
Asio holds the
who
key.
look like anime characters. This kind is more like is not. This is cosplayer. This is real person in the real world trying to look like anime, which has its own charm to it, I think. I am a big fan of cosplay. I have cosplayed myself on several occasions. While most games probably aren't, you wouldn't want to say it looks like your characters are cosplaying as somebody else. I think there's an argument to be made that there should be more games like that. Oh, this is where we meet.
Asio?
Yep, it's a demon. It's a witch.
Nope, it's a fucking demon.
Another enemy that won't really fight me.
Good riddance.
They're quite easy to fight. They only have one attack, really, which is that really slow sword thing that comes towards them, which if you hit back just destroys their shield instantly. Other than that, all they do is shield themselves and shield other enemies, and the shield could be destroyed just by hitting them with angel weapons.
Right.
So,
Asio holds the key.
not much of an enemy. A decent assist for actual enemies, but not much of an enemy. In the truest sense of the word. Don't know what anything in this stage is, as yet, so. Just gonna look around as we go. If we see something, we'll go for it. If not, we will ignore it.
Got it.
Am I intending to do any of the Devil May Cries after this? Maybe. I don't know yet. I kind of like. I've just bought since seeing Summer Fatal on PC. I've just bought Metal Gear Revengeance that I've never played and should. So if I was going to do another in this type, it would probably be that next. Either that or Bayo. If and when Bayonetta 3 comes out, I'll try to do that at some point. Probably. Although, I feel like that's one of those games I want to play myself before I do it on a stream.
Let's see what happens.
I've also just bought Judgment on PS4 from the makers of the Yakuza games. I haven't even played them, let alone streaming them yet. Concept art for Critters unlocked. How lovely. Break this head. This is meant to be in Dante's mind, I think. This is him unshackling his potential as a Nephilim. I'm curious as I mean, it's very obviously meant to look like Savior. Which is fine. Savior, the boss fight in DmC 4, for those who don't know. I'm curious as to why, if these are what Nephilim were portrayed as looking like, why Dante and Virgil don't look like them. Especially the one that we just saw in real world. Well, not real world. Yeah, real world. But purgatory. And yeah, when I talked about not knowing your mother, should we get these little moments where she seems to be talking directly to him? Yeah, we mentioned that. I don't know about you guys, I've got zero audio for this scene. I don't know why. I seem to have no audio sometimes. So it's going on a little bit about giving him his freedom by giving him the power to take it. You're not a human, are you? Another. Who wants to see the devil trigger? How will I look in devil trigger in this costume? I wonder. My hair changed. I don't like it. It's a screen clear. That's all it is. It just throws everything up in the air and you can just hit them for free.
I don't remember.
Again, different moveset. Would have been nice. Time power's not so bad, but you can do a lot more with them than just a time stop. Bayonet is obviously built into the combat, and that it's the reward for dodging correctly. But and I actually really, really like Witch Time. I think it's the best of that sort. But in this game, it's every so often press the button and then it'll do it. I intend to only use that power when I absolutely need to, which hopefully will be almost never. I'd like to finish on at least S. But this is where we start to get to the this particular mission, these two missions. We start to get to the point in the game where the enemies are not even new types anymore. Then they don't even do anything new. They just lock out existing abilities that you had for one reason or another. Either being the shields that just stop you doing any attack other than the angel attack on them until you break it. So the big dog, like, I don't know what you can call them. I forget what they're called. I don't want to remember what they're called. That do nothing but just like crazy attacks that stop you pulling them and stop you hit stunning them. When they go into their own little devil trigger mode. You know what, let's get drive. Might as well. Never used it, never will, but this is it. I don't like it. And for that I also need a Keeler. Wait, I've got a Keeler. What am I saying? The other thing, the other angel weapon you get. You know what I mean. So much easier to kill them with that. I almost don't want to go for the collectibles because I know I have to come back to get some others anyway, so there's no point. Was that not what I was supposed to do? Yeah. See, that's what I mean. All she is just teleport away, put shield up, put shield down, teleport away, get it. No fight at all to speak of. You just hit her with the thing, stop her doing the thing, hit her a little bit more, stop her doing the thing. There's more and more enemies that just don't fight you, they just stop you doing things that should be able to do. I need a key that I didn't get somewhere. At the minute I'm planning on going for full completion, but I don't know if I'll bother in the end.
That was wild.
Come here.
What is it?
You found your inner devil, all right.
But you have yet to discover.
I'm supposed to have a small, really stupid looking tuft of hair coming out the back of his head.
And if you do kill Mundus, who would take his place?
Look at the stupid zoom on his face. It's awful. It's awful. He's just so stupid. Like, that's not even as aggressive as I remember it being with the zoom on his face. I'm gonna get overdrive, because overdrive might be worth using even if drive isn't. Let's go to Dark Dante for a little bit. I'm just gonna get a drink, you wait here for me. And then back. Now, if I remember correctly, and I think I do, Bob Barbas is the next boss we're just heading towards now. And he's the one that gives you angel weapon disc thing.
I'm no longer suited to violence. I cannot proceed.
Thank you, Phoenix.
It wasn't quite a favor. I want to see Mundus destroyed. And I now believe you may stand a chance.
What made you change your mind?
You were right. You're not just like your father. I see your mother in you too. You want to hit Mundus hard? This is how. Mundus has power almost beyond limit. But he has one weakness.
He has a weakness.
Yes. His mistress, Lilith.
His weakness is that he loves her?
Mundus? Love? No, my friend. Yet, she has recently become the most important thing in creation to him. This is what I have seen. Lilith, his mistress, carries his child, his heir. You want to hurt Mundus? Kill Lilith. Kill the child. Nothing will hurt him more. But be warned, the fury of Mundus is boundless. Many thousands could perish.
Now, knowing all of that, and knowing the plan that they come up with later, how does Dante have any objection to what Virgil does? There is no back here. Okay. May buy that. Don't have any of those. We also start to get Devil Trigger cross fragments, which are worthless. By the way, I can't jump or anything, that's why I'm running over. I do feel like this is where the game really hits its stride, though. This particular mission onwards. Like, the last one was pretty meh. It's just fighting the flying harpies over and over. Introduced the witch. Nothing particularly special. And all the way through, you're just running through old buildings.
Good. Finally have your attention.
Because you get this mission, where you get to the fake CNN, or fake Fox News, should I say. And then you've, after that it's the club, I think, where you get with it. See, this looks like Uncharted more than Devil May Cry. Captain News. How did Dante know that was a doorway? This scene in particular looks incredible. It looks like the Mirror's Edge DLC. The original Mirror's Edge DLC. Hello, Gil. My cat has decided to join me. Hello. Yeah. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Say hello to the internet. No? Okay. Let's say that. Yeah, Mirror's Edge DLC that just didn't add any kind of story or even real world content at all. It was just, it looked like this with big glowing like glass objects in a fake world, and then just run speedruns basically of increasingly difficult obstacle courses. It was awesome. I'm gonna sit in front of the tender but not on the tender. Okay. Okay, Bob Boris.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Put a spin on this.
My personal view
Every
on
line
the
is just a swear.
terrorists
That's it.
is that they are disgusting, degrading, ghastly, sleazy,
go.
purient, and generally nauseating. The worst
Stroking
of
my
them
cat
is
if you
Dante.
can't see.
The whole world would benefit greatly by his non-existence.
I'm
There he
taking
is.
you off the air.
You think so? I wouldn't bet on it, you little shit.
I hate this part though. It looks good, but really, really dull to play. Oh, I can't even shoot him. Should have gone in from down there. And the punch, I guess, punching him with the fists looks better than anything else.
Segue into
This is what makes it interesting. Look at this.
Now what we have here is some truly shocking footage of the terrorist, known as Dante, at the Bellevue Pier recently. So what do we know about this Dante? Several people have now come forward, and investigators have pieced together a shocking history of violence. At age 8, he attacked and killed the head nurse at St. Lamia Orphanage. She was described as a sweet old lady who particularly enjoyed working with children. Between the ages of 11 and 15, he broke out of no less than 8 youth detention facilities, often mounting brutal,
See, I imagine
humiliating
most of
attacks
this that he's
against the
describing
prison officers
is a
just
version of
doing
the
their
truth,
jobs. Between
where
16
each of those
and
people were
17,
demons
he became
who
involved
had
in
attacked
gangs,
Dante at one point or
drug
another.
peddling, and is believed to be responsible for over a dozen homicides.
All
And
of
worst
which
of
would
all,
most likely have been demons.
he was also a well-known cruiser in the seedier districts of the city, rampantly spreading sexual disease of the unholy kind.
it. Ain't that the best kind, Bob?
I was going to say exactly what is a holy sexual disease. Is that pregnancy?
You think you're cool? How about I kill you and piss on your corpse for cold points?
Trying to dodge out of that. Let me.
Give it up, you little emo punk.
I mean,
This is hard-hitting news, Bob.
I want to know what this footage looks like to real people as well. I mean, it's
They straight in the eye, and at one point, it was just terrifying. He definitely had pedophile eyes.
I saw one girl,
Yeah,
like,
pedophile
beg
eyes.
for her life, but, like, he said he was gonna kill her anyway. And then he did. Like, totally.
Since that horrific attack, it has come to light that Dante is involved in the terrorist organization called The Order. I have a message for The Order. The whole world is looking for you. Every camera, on every street corner, every police force in the country and worldwide. But we will find you. We will destroy you. It's only a matter of time. This is Bob Barbas of the Raptor News Network. Just doing God's work.
It's so heavy-handed though, with the Fox News references. The very obvious Bill O'Reilly boss.
Recent attacks has been located and is being stormed by SWAT teams as I speak.
There's another point of why was Virgil even slightly concerned about these guys that were coming after him.
Bastards.
The third terrorist has been cornered in another part of the city in a separate police raid. Rest assured, those responsible will be brought to justice at any moment, dead or alive. This is Bob Barbas of the Raptor News Network. Just doing God's work.
You're cornered. We got you. We'll crush you. And you know what? We'll do it live. You suck. We're gonna do it live.
He fucking said we'll do it live. Not even trying, just... Let's see if I can kill Bill O'Reilly in one second.
The people. Newsflash. The people hate you. I made sure of that. God is on my side, Dante. Find it. And if I fail, who's on yours? No.
Breaking news, Bob. You're fired.
So presumably, what the world saw was he just killed a news anchor live on TV, right? He just shot him square in the chest. Why do I get this from a demon? Is it meant to be me unlocking my potential, so the weapons are coming out as I get stronger? I suspect it's more just because that's what happened in the old games. Which is disappointing. But
Make your next move, if you will. You've already lost.
how? I'll take an S rank on that one. Aquila. We want buy-in. That's tornado. Hold on to triangle. Okay, they're not worth it. Aerial buy-in. Right. Yeah. Same as most. Did I put anything on Eric's? I put slime, which I'm not going to use. I can't take any of those off. Cyrus I might still use, so let's get more enemies from buy-in. I may as well leave ebony and ivory as powder. 7.5k for health cross. Do I want more devil trigger? Not particularly. Let's just go. I can heal by using devil trigger, I suppose. That's the best use of it.
You're not in yet. I gotta get to them first. Hang in there, guys. I'm on my way. Bring it in! Gather round!
Yeah. I like the feeling.
And who are you? Fuck nut.
He's got a big testicle. Oh, very dramatic. Not even on this side. Do overuse Stinger into Trillion Scouts.
You're breaking
know
in
that.
from Limbo too.
I like it a lot though. It looks cool. It's one of the things that this game, it's a thing you have to have in a Devil May Cry game, at least a good one, is a good Stinger. Stinger has a certain feel to it. This game has a very good Stinger. Tattoos. I know where to go, by the way. I'm just looking for extras. Which nothing. Two charges.
Where are you guys?
No way I've got enough. No. Yeah. So dumb. Assuming this is optional extra? Yep. Cool. For how long it's been since I played this? I'm remembering more than I thought.
Hey, can you Dan. Cat, where are you?
Definitely didn't miss anything. Good. So yeah, this is another point that it seems like every time Kat has any kind of interaction with anything, her only response is wait for Dante to come and save her, which is obviously fine. I think people make way too much of a thing of a kind of being a damsel in distress. I think every good character in every action movie or series of any
Over
kind
here, Sawboy.
needs to be rescued sometimes. Otherwise, the thing you're fighting isn't nearly strong enough. If your opponent is never capable of putting you in a position where you're incapable of beating them on your own, then it's not strong enough. Come on, do something. Nope, I can't use that monster. I can't use anything that I can't dodge out of. Stinger is by far the best option, unfortunately. Damn. Oh good. I was hoping we'd get to meet these two together at once. Yeah, the one with the big testicle thing is just really annoying. Because you can only hit it from one side. So again, the whole... Like I said about when the enemy with the chainsaw, or with the shield, sorry. When you get close to him, and he blocks your attacks and then he parries you off. Oh, bitch is near.
Are you there? Stay out of sight, you hear?
Yeah, when the one with the shield blocks you and you get thrown away, you can then do the dodge so you get behind them and hit them from behind. And outmaneuver their shields rather than just hit through it. Which is gives you another way to fight them. The one with the big testicle thing just removes that aspect of outmaneuvering your opponents altogether. Because you can only hurt them from in front. Anarchic.
not now.
Oh no! What will I ever do against these enemies? Oh, I've defeated all of them. Okay. Yeah, I quite like this mission. Just fight guy after fight guy after fight guy.
Cat, are you here?
I mean, it is just
Oh my
that.
God! They're in! Move!
Get out! This place is overrun.
Run! Get out of here!
Damn it! Can anybody hear me?
Am I being attacked? I can hear enemies.
This place is infested. I hope Cat's okay.
Well, I'm picking things up at least. I should use the tricks to dodge more. Well, anything? Yeah. Another hidden thing.
Great.
Assuming I had to go this way for something. No key. Don't even know where I was supposed to get that. Increased combo range. I like the ones that increase your range and your like distance more than the ones that increase the damage. There's a key. Hey, look at me. See, I can hear the chainsaw, but I can't. There it is. Pretty simple. I only seem to be able to get to A fighting just them. That was the way forward, right? So this... Oh, this is just another path. I've unlocked a small devil's trigger star. Which I will again hopefully never ever use. I'm just going on the assumption here that the green lights mean it's progress and red lights mean it's not. And therefore I can travel and explore this way as much as I like without being locked out. Not sure if any of that's true. Right, that's green, so I can't go that way. Let's try exploring this direction. Is it possible for me to get back? I don't think it is. Let's see where we go. If I head this way. It was around here, wasn't it? This was where I found the lost soul. Thought for a second I saw another lost soul through there, but that's clearly wrong. I then came through here. There it was. And hope we get a health cross thing instead of a devil trigger one. Kill all enemies before Dante's devil trigger expired. Each enemy killed restores some of Dante's devil trigger. Surely this is what Akira was made for, right? Easy. And it was a health. Excellent. 13 out of 21. Open secret doors to access secret missions. These unlock health upgrades. Okay. So I don't have to worry about accidentally getting devil triggered points instead. Good to know. Another one. Perfect.
Hey! Who you looking for, shitheads?
Yeah, it seems Rebellion's the best thing for that because I can actually dodge out of it. Camera, sure mate. Let me get the thing.
Who's that?
Oh, who's this guy?
What are you smiling at? It's on, bitch.
They fight you. They actually fight back.
That?
50 of the lost souls found. Okay. That's not bad, I don't think. Fill your dark soul with light. Fuck off. I just realised what that... Yeah.
I'm here.
I don't know what to do.
Where's Virgil?
I don't know. He's probably in the server room, the octagon, but he might be trapped in limbo.
How do we get to him?
I don't know.
Why do we have an octagon?
Is there something I can do from limbo to break you out? Think.
There may be a way. I'll guide you.
These moments are okay when Kat's like thinking up plans and stuff of her own to try and solve stuff. 100% completion. I'll take that. I'm starting to annoy myself because I'm saying the same phrases over and over when I'm doing things because I'm thinking the same things. You know what I mean? Didn't use overdrive once on that, did I? We're gonna complete rebellion because there's nothing else I really want or anything else. Alright, I think we'll do one more mission as DmC 1 Dante and then I'll call it for the night.
There's an old tunnel through here. Maybe we can get out that way.
We need another charge!
They're breaking in.
I've got an idea.
I'm stuck in limbo. I can't stop them from here.
Yes, you can. I spray, you bring the roof down. There. Now pull it.
Do it again.
Quick, the girl's in there!
Okay, same again. Hurry.
I just noticed the riot cops have red face masks that kind of look like the Draco
Come on.
box. Which, by the way, was the two-sworded guy we just fought a second
Let's
ago.
go.
Can you do it then? Come on. But this is kind of a cool concept of interacting between the two using the painted on symbols. I just wish they'd done more with it.
Come on.
I'm in front of you. Why are you staring at me like that, cat? Why are you running like an old woman? What is that? Look at the run she's doing. That explosion didn't look great.
Stay there. I don't think he saw you.
Hey, wait. I think I saw something.
Shit. Cat, stay very still.
Leave it! The girl's up ahead! We need to move!
Why wouldn't they look in case it's the girl?
Let's go.
Surely there's only one way in and out of this tunnel.
You okay, Cat?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Feel very, very slow though. don't know if I'm supposed to feel tense during this scene, but I'm just kind of walking in a straight line. Not a lot else going on here.
Heads on your head! Face down!
Cat, get out of sight!
He's running! Get! No!
Quick, get in that room and hide.
I told you not to run.
They shot them anyway. Who are all these people anyway? What is this? What do these people do?
Damn it! He's coming in! What are you doing? Stay hidden.
Hey, you! Heads on your head! I've got the girl.
I've got you, motherfucker. Good work.
Come on. It's this way. Why did they have to kill everyone?
We're terrorists, remember?
Those are my friends. I feel sick.
They'll pay for this. But right now, we've got to find Virgil.
If they were your friends, why were they never mentioned until now? I mean, I assume they were just people from the Order, or whatever we're calling it, but... What were they doing? What was the big plan? What was all of their job here?
Through here.
Because the entire plan of Virgil seems to just be, we're going to find Mundus and then Dante's going to kill him. I mean, maybe it was planning to take over the world stuff, but again, that should have been mentioned. Or at least drawn attention to. Well, some of this might have been fun to try and have. Also, yeah, how did you not think Virgil was going to try and take over the world? Look at this shit. This stupid little keyboard. And these two screens. And this fucking Dio coffin. It's like they just lined up everything that an evil villain should have and just put them all in a little corridor. But we just casually run past and nobody mentions.
Dante. Virgil's trapped in limbo. He's in trouble.
Hey, you! Dante, are you crazy? What are you doing here? Once you're out of here, bro.
No, I can't even dodge down the balls, it seems. No, I can't destroy it before it blows up consciousness too late. How is Virgil under any threat from that thing?
Cat, you're still alive.
Is there a way out of here?
Yes, there's an emergency gate. I'll take you there.
Let's go.
No, not yet.
What?
There are terabytes.
You got to delete your hard drive before the cops get you. That's rule 1, Dante.
They'll know everything about our plans. If they get their hands on that data, everything that I've worked for.
Let them find the bodies. Let them find the blood.
Arm self-destruct. I can't do it from limbo.
Don't let them see the hard drive.
The demons will break it in.
No matter what people think when they see all the other shit, it won't be as bad as when they look in the hard drive.
How long do you guys need? Not long. A couple of minutes.
No upgrades for me. Kill them all. Will do, game. That's the timing. I think I got the hang of it. I have to say, it does feel somewhat like you're powering up as you get more weapons in this. I do feel stronger with Aquila than I ever did without it, which I guess is kind of the point. Why was that just shooting at nothing at the end?
It might help.
Great.
It helps with them.
How are you guys doing? 2 more minutes, Dante.
Virgil, I can keep the demons off your back for as long as you need, but I can't protect Cat from the fence. Step on it!
Understood. 2 minutes.
Why doesn't Virgil, now that he's in the human world, or is he in the human world? Is he still going to be in limbo with me? Why doesn't Cat just bring him back to the human world and have him slaughter the police? Die. There's also no taunt button in this game, which is disappointing. You see what I mean? How like rarely my style dropped even slightly during that stage while I was just doing this.
I just need a minute longer to grab what I can from the servers.
Just this combo over and over, as long as there's enough enemies around you, triple S.
This is important.
This doesn't look good.
Knew I could kill it with that.
Virgil! It's done.
I don't actually mind that room. A lot of people complain about it because it's just like waves, wave defense basically, but not even defense, just waves. Audio suddenly vanished altogether. I don't know why it's doing it in cutscenes for me. Also, Virgil, don't you have a bunch of abilities that could quite easily get you out of these situations? Like, why can't you just bring them into the real world and have them kill everybody? It said earlier in the game when he asked her what happens if, when they first met on the pier. She explained what limbo and stuff was, and he said, "What if I pull the trigger?" while pointing the gun at her head, and she said, "I'll die." I'm assuming that's just because she was a medium and she's connecting with limbo. But if not, why can't he just kill all the cops in here with his guns from where he is? Also, this is so mocapped it doesn't look real. It looks like two actors being told to crouch down and pretend you're getting warped. Like where actors try to, really hard to portray the emotion, where real people sometimes just, they can't react enough, so they're just instead. Okay, that's surprising. Triple S rank for a level. Pretty good. I'm very happy with that, personally. I think it will be a good point to end it. We're going to finish Rebellion, won't we? Oh, but I couldn't fully unlock. Well, I couldn't fully unlock anyway. I think just more Aquila, because Aquila seems by far the most useful. Revenant. Will that be useful? I don't know. How much am I going to use a Cyrus now? That I might use a Cyrus. I like a Cyrus still. How many of these do I actually need? Kicker I don't want. Perfectly happy with Angel Dodge. You know what, we'll go with Charge Shot on Revenant. Still somewhere short of another health cross. Fuck Devil Trigger. Can I sell things? I cannot, I can only buy on the back. Right. Well, we'll leave it there. Thanks a lot for watching. Another fun time playing DmC. Got a lot of progress, a lot of I did surprisingly well on them. I didn't expect to get triple S on that level. Yeah, not a lot to unlock on these other than just by finishing it on harder difficulties and finishing with that triple S. I feel like some of the earlier levels, especially, it's hard to get triple S in them because you can't do enough damage to the enemies because they die too early. You can't build up style because the enemies are dead before you get there. There are 20 missions. Enemies, Stygians killed. Oh, that's what it is. It's just how many you kill and stuff. Okay. I mean, I got the feeling that was it, but lesser Stygian. Nah, I think it's okay. Hell Knight, a Ravager, sorry, the Hell Knight's there, I haven't killed enough. Pathos. I mean, they're cool art, but that's all it is, really. Stinger reaches into belly to pull out grenade, then throws down the ground. Oh, is that what it does? No, I think these were just the concepts. Interesting that it used to have like red wings. That is just exactly what it became as well. They never changed it even slightly. Same for the timer. They just took bits off. I was looking to see one that would be more, that if they had a different design that would make it more interesting, but it's just kind of the same. That would have been more interesting, but only ever so slightly, to have a face in there instead. Then the Dream Runner. That's the enemy I fought earlier. I haven't killed any yet. You can't kill them until the later missions, which is a really fun thing. Which is just a naked lady, which is... I'm not going to complain. I'm down for some naked ladies in my games. Critters. I feel like a lot of these would be a lot more at home in a horror game than a Devil May Cry game. No. With the cigarette and everything. Look at that big dumb coat on the left. Look at the big dumb hood. It looks like a girl. You know, that actually would have made it more interesting in some ways if she'd been a punk girl instead of a punk kid. And just get rid of Dante altogether, just make it a punk girl called something in an alternate Devil May Cry universe. Forget the Sons of Sparta story altogether, just make it a different one. That would be a more interesting Devil Trigger. How many do I need to get all of it? Oh, we're not going to do that by the playthrough, are we? 7,000 kills. I'm only a tenth of the way through. Cat. Pretty much what she ended up like. Again, with just a hood. Looks a little bit better. No, that's... I mean... more in keeping. Especially with the F. But... it's clearly not what they were going for. They wanted her to be, like, kind of useless. Why did they make her so nothing when in the art she's so sexy? I mean, less so there, but... Ava. Oh, I have to complete the game to get to Eva. Okay. Flashbacks are all complete the game. Backstory all complete. Oh, when I complete the game, we'll have to remember to come back in here. Shots fired from Ebony and Ivory. Okay. And to be fair, you can't get Ebony and Ivory that wrong, surely. Strikes landed with rebellion. Shots fired. Just weapons with, yeah, stuff with different weapons. Okay. Those two are disproportionately different. I hit the Kabooey, but we'll do it a little bit when we get there. Total melee damage. Is that not meant to be in the background? That one looks kind of cool. Still just an ornate sword, but doesn't look too bad. That's way too high, I'm not going to be able to do that. Environments. Okay. Ambush. Complete different missions on difficulties. And then just back to the mission stuff. I mean, yeah. They're just what you'd kind of expect. They're just what the rooms ended up being. I mean, yeah, I think the cleaner looks better. The second one. That didn't even end up looking like that, did it? I don't remember. Those are just exact corridors. Just with Dante in different places in them. There are undoubtedly some very, very talented artists working at Ninja Theory. Or at least there were then. I think the story writers let them down a little bit in this. I'd actually be really interested to see what Ninja Theory would make if they were made to make a horror game. Like a genuine survival horror. Scaring the shit out of you type of game. Because these motherfuckers can draw, you know. See, the bright red masks, I don't know if they were going for like City of Limbo. Was that what the city is? The city actually called Limbo? Did they ever say that canonically in game? I don't think they did. City of Limbo. It's not great, is it? Were they going for like Nazi stormtrooper masks? You see those type of masks a lot in like Wolfenstein, things like that. Maybe. Is that what they were going for? Probably. A lot of it looks very nice. We'll see more of them when I get the missions, but what stats have we played so far? We've played 6 hours, 48 minutes and 8 seconds. All on Devil Hunt. Devil Hunter in... Wait. Is that including menus then? It must be. Because yeah, I've spent 18, so that's what? 12, 13... 6 minutes 13, so I spent 35 minutes or so in menus. Most of the game I've spent in human mode, and then some bits in Angel and Demon. It's because human's the default, isn't it? I have 1 triple S, no double S, 2 S, no A's, 9 B's, 5 C's, and no D's so far. I've completed some missions twice and some missions once. I think I did really well, personally. Highest style points, highest completion. 25% for mission 9. That was great. Yeah, 13 of 21 secret missions. Found them and done them. More demon balls than angel lifts, not surprising. Stomped only when I had to, I think. Double jumps. Why does it even count them? Rebellion, obviously the vast majority of the damage that I've done, but Arbiter and Osiris shortly after. I've done 85 damage with Eric's. No, 85 strikes landed with Eric's. I've dealt 5,000. Which is still like a third of what I've done with Aquila. So yeah. That tells you how useful that is. And I've actually tried to use it too. It's not like I was just avoiding it. Well, I was avoiding it, but you know what I mean. Didn't know it kept this many I've never killed an elite Stygian. They must only come at the end of the game then. I don't think I've met them yet. Oh wow, there's actually only 5 bosses in the game. That hadn't occurred to me. 3 deaths, all under one turn. All in secret missions. All from Death Knights. Alright. I've gotten Triple S 40 times in the times we've been playing, so what did we play, 6 hours and something? You get it regularly. I spent 26 minutes in Triple S. That's excluding all the time in the menus, all the time in just running around. Just the combat sections, 26 minutes has been at Triple S right now. And I'm not good. Friendly Fire I've only gotten 3 times, really. I've activated Devil Trigger once. And I've killed 11 enemies. One of which was one set with the secret missions. So that doesn't count, really. Never use a health item of any kind. Never spent red orbs on them. Spent all my red orbs on health crosses. Most of them from enemies, half from the environment. Okay. Yep. Alright. We'll have a look at those again later, next time I come on. When I've done small missions. Probably when I finish the game, because we're pretty close now. Yeah, we're into the home stretch, in fact. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.